It's the Orioles on Masson. We're at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, where tonight the Orioles take on the Pirates. It is Game 2 in this two-game interleague series. And hi, everyone. I'm Jim Hunter. Welcome to Pittsburgh as the Orioles and Pirates close out this series. And as we look back over the 2017 season, among the highlights is the emergence of Trey Mancini, not only as an everyday player, but as a middle-of-the-lineup run producer. And this from a player who was not even guaranteed a spot on the opening day roster. But when you give players opportunities, the good players rise, and Mancini has risen. Let's go back to spring training. He played in just about every game, and he was outstanding. .333 batting average led the team in hits, RBIs, and he was tied for second in home runs. Then in April, after making the opening day roster, he played sparingly, got into just 12 games in 216. But since May the 1st, he has taken off 123 starts, batting .301 with 19 home runs and 66 RBIs. And Mike Bordick, when we look back on this season, one of the best rookie seasons in Orioles history, the emergence of Mancini will be a highlight, and this is only the beginning for Trey.
Boy, you got that right. And not only for Trey Mancini, but for the whole organization, really. I mean, this is what it's all about. 8th-round pick here. You know, not a highly touted sign for the Orioles, but he worked, he ground his way through the minor leagues. I mean, he was impressive all the way through. But take a look at this 15-game hit streak he's riding right now. .317 batting average. The most impressive thing about this is the plate coverage and the fact that it's happening in the month of September. This is when players are supposed to fatigue. Trey Mancini is reaching his peak right now. He is rising to the challenge of staying consistent all season long. And you said it at the beginning, you know, the month of April, he didn't get many at-bats. It took until the month of May to finally to prove to Buck Showalter that he could be out there in left field every day. He ended up over doubling his hit total the next month, and next thing you know, he's in the lineup every day. So he's proven himself. It's been an impressive run this year for Trey Mancini, challenging Aaron Judge for the Rookie of the Year category. I mean, one of the best young players in the game today. His consistency is what's most impressive to me.
And one of the keys for Trey Mancini, his approach. He is the one hitter in this lineup that you know is always going to be a foul line to foul line hitter. As a result, he's not as predictable to the opposing team's pitchers, and he gives himself a chance to succeed every time he goes to the plate.
Well, there are so many positives about Trey Mancini, and the fact that he uses the whole field is probably the most impressive. He has the best plate coverage that I have seen in a long time. He'll take pitches in off the plate and the ability to cover 3 or 4 inches off the outside corner on those nasty sliders. So he will fight off some tough pitches for sure. Power to all fields as well. He has exceptional power to right center field, and the fact that he has success against lefties and righties, I think, is impressive for Trey.
So it's another warm and muggy night here in Pittsburgh. Orioles and Pirates close out the series before the Birds head to Tampa. And yes, Pedro Alvarez is in the lineup. Low fares, no hidden fees, that's transparency. And by Johns Hopkins Orthopedics, serving the community for over 125 years. Another lovely day in Pittsburgh, warm and muggy as the Orioles and Pirates conclude this series. 83 degrees as we approach first pitch, and that humidity still up there at 48%, and some clouds now over downtown Pittsburgh, so mostly cloudy skies as we begin. And here's a look at the Orioles lineup presented by Southwest. Low fares, no hidden fees, that's transparency. Austin Hayes leads off again, then Scope Machado and Pedro Alvarez, the former Pirate. Buck Showalter giving him the start tonight at first base. Pedro bats cleanup. Mancini, Cisco, and J.J. Hardy, who has enjoyed hitting here at PNC Park in his career, have about 16 RBIs in 28 games. Santander again at right, and Gabriel Ynoa will pitch and bat ninth.
And let's take a look at Chad Kuhl here. The numbers that he's got. Of course, a power arsenal, but the curveball, it's something that's helped him this whole second half. He's pitched much better, much more consistent since going to the full arsenal. The Orioles are going to see that tonight. He used to be primarily a sinker slider pitcher. It's going to be all four. The curve, the change will definitely come into play. Big arm with the fastball, works in the mid-90s. The opponent's hitting 264 on the year. He's given up 17 long balls.
And he misses high to Austin Hayes, who was hitless in the game last night. In fact, he is 0 for 8 over his last 2 games, but still at a 282 clip over his last 10. And what we're learning about Austin Hayes, of course, he had the huge minor league numbers, Mike, is he goes up there, look at his swing. He has walked just once in his first 16 games in the big leagues.
Yeah, he is aggressive, and pitchers try to exploit that with the hard sliders that start on the plate and work off. He's going to have to discipline himself. He's going to have success at the major league level.
And that one almost hit him. He's able to get out of the way. Hayes again in center field as Adam Jones sits it out with his sore legs. Buck Showalter said Adam hopefully back in the lineup in Tampa this weekend. And that's a real good take. That's a pitch designed to get him the chase, and he didn't do it.
He's having a nice at bat right now. Gets himself in a good hitter's count, and Cool. He likes his fastball, so he'll challenge him right here. Probably a good four-seamer. He's going to be ready to hit.
And he pulls a foul. That one ran in on him. So the count goes full.
Man, ran in hard. How about this one? It looked like it was going to hit him in the shoulder. He turns and burns on the up and in fastball, and there's that velocity, 95 miles an hour, and Hayes rushes him out of there.
Well, he swung at ball 4, but he had already committed to the swing before that ball made a turn. And the 3-2, it's bounced foul off his foot.
Driving it in there hard right now. Cool. An interesting season. He's found himself here the second half of the season, in large part due to the ability to mix in his secondary pitches more frequently. You can tell he's got the good arm. Shooting a couple fastballs, mid-90s. That last one, foul ball, gets a piece of Hayes.
My question is, how did this guy get away from the Orioles? He's from Middletown, Delaware. He went to the University of Delaware in Newark, which is what, 60 miles from Camden Yards.
Right.
And he lasted until the 9th round in 2013. And there's a walk. See, Hayes is showing me I can take a walk. He's on leading off.
Now let's take a look at the Pirates defense behind Cool tonight. Marte, McCutchen, and Polanco in the PNC outfield. Rodriguez getting the start at shortstop tonight. Frazier over at second base. Freeze and Bell on the corners. And the rookie Diaz getting the start behind the plate tonight. Rodriguez over at shortstop. Jordy Mercer's had sore left knee problems, so that's why he hasn't started here in this series. Thought he might get the start tonight, but not quite ready.
There's Jonathan Scope, who again is in the number 2 spot. And Buck Showalter asked before the game why he flip-flopped Scope and Machado. Of course, there's no DH here, so there's going to be realigning of the lineup anyway, but he mentioned that he wanted to try to give Manny more RBI opportunities. Manny, with 4 games to play, needs 5 RBIs for 100.
Yeah.
So he drops down to number 3. Scope already above 100 RBIs, so he moves into the number 2 spot.
There you go. Take care of his players. Try to put them in situations to raise those numbers. Of course, Manny, of course, it seems like at times when he gets put in these situations, ends up trying too hard. Swing gets a little bit long. Tries to do too much, but got some base runners out there. He stays within himself. He's one of the best in the game, using the whole field.
1-1 on Scope. Now, one thing we haven't seen from Hayes yet is base stealing. We know he has good speed. Then again, the philosophy on this team is don't risk being thrown out running the bases. Orioles still are last in the American League in stolen bases. But something you might want to see over the last remaining games here. See how Hayes fares on the base paths.
Well, I think his speed has really shown up already as far as a plus base runner. And you don't have to be a real good base stealer. I don't think he was ever really considered that in the minor leagues. But the ability to take advantage and take that extra base has already shown up for Austin Hayes. Boy, one game, ball's just getting out of the infield. The infielder had knocked it down. He was hustling down the line and get the head up and find himself on second base. That's the type of base running you like to see.
Scope to center field. That'll chase McCutchen back, but Andrews got a play. And just in front of the warning track, there's Hayes tagging. He's testing McCutchen. The throw, the tag, he is out. Hayes thought he got the foot in. Second base umpire Tom Hallion calls him out.
Well, the throw right there by McCutchen. And this is the type of base running we talk about. Hayes reading the fly ball, taking McCutchen all the way back to the warning track. And, he was in there. Good tag. Wow, Rodriguez slapping it right back down there in front of the base. That was a pretty impressive tag by Rodriguez and a strong throw by McCutchen out in center field.
Well, that is his 9th assist, Andrew McCutchen. So not only a good arm, an accurate arm. And that erases that leadoff walk, so 2 down. And Machado will bat with the bases empty. And a little bit low.
Good thing. Need 98 down around the bottom of the zone getting called. Like a pretty good pitch. It's in Machado's favor.
Chris Segal has the plate tonight. The first innings for pitchers always educational to figure out what will be called and what won't be called. And there's a pitch on the inside corner that he disagrees with. And he's down in the count 1 and 2.
Yeah, borderline pitch right there, but good velocity on the fastball. Cool, making his 31st start of the season.
Manny last night had his 7-game hitting streak altered. He took an 0 for 4. And the hitting streak kind of masked how his bat has cooled off over the past couple of weeks. Strike 3 called. Machado thought it was off the plate. He's called out by Segal. So a leadoff walk, none left. We have to the bottom of the first. No score. Here come the Pirates in the bottom of the first. Pittsburgh tonight playing its final home game of the year. Frazier Marte and Andrew McCutchen has hit safely in all 13 games in the Interleague against the Orioles, and about 25 out of 50, a .500 batting average. Belfries, Polanco, Diaz, Rodriguez, and Cool for the Pirates.
And let's take a look at Gabriel Ynoa's pitch arsenal this season. Well, he used that 4-seam fastball, the 2-seam fastball, but the sliders come into play quite frequently here as he's taken over the starting role. He'd like to finish strong, and the slider starts on the plate, works off. We're going to need that pitch tonight to keep this Pirates offense off balance, keep them in the yard. They a couple home runs in last night's ball game.
Ynoa coming off an outstanding start as he faces Adam Frazier here. Just off the plate outside for ball 2.
Yeah, Ynoa definitely on his game as he flipped out 8 strong innings in his last outing against Tampa.
And there's a base hit. So he fell behind, came in, and Frazier sitting on it on a single to right field.
Take a look at the Oriole defense behind Ynoa tonight. Mancini, Hayes, and Santander, all rookies in this Oriole outfield tonight. Hardy and Scope turning 2 up the middle with Machado over third base. Pedro Alvarez getting the start at first, and Francisco once again behind the plate. A bit of a homecoming, if you will, for Pedro Alvarez, former first-round pick for the Pirates.
He got a big ovation when the lineups were introduced. And he was out before stretching, signing autographs. And he certainly knows this ballpark well.
And he had some good years here. Led the National League in home runs. In 2013, was an all-star that year. He hit 131 home runs as a Pirate.
Now there are reverse split pitchers, and then there is Gabriel Ynoa. And Mike, this is pretty fascinating. When he gets ahead of hitters 0-1, the opposing batting average is .281. Yet when he gets behind 1-0, they bat only .235. It's supposed to be the opposite.
Yeah, right. I wouldn't recommend working that way, but it seems to be working out for Ynoa right now in the early on. Of course, a young pitcher, but I think he gets a lot of movement on his fastball. So when he falls behind, he gets a nice little 2-seamer running in on hitters. So some weaker contact when he falls behind. And I think he executes pretty well.
Starling Marte has been hot. He is 10 for his last 20 over his last 6 games. And Ynoa very concerned with Adam Frazier, who has 9 steals, but he's been caught 5 times.
Marte just kind of getting his legs underneath him. Finally getting his rhythm and timing as the season winds down. Missed the bulk of the season due to suspension. It's performance enhancing supplements.
Fouls off the breaking ball. And the count goes to 0-2. There has yet to be a stolen base attempt against Francisco, who's catching again tonight. And against Ynoa, there's been just 1 attempt, and the Orioles caught that potential base steal. So Cisco has not yet been tested.
You know, Buck Showalter and John Russell want to see him throw. It's been the knock on him. And John Russell's worked some magic with some catchers before as far as developing the footwork, a little bit of a cheat technique. Getting that back foot underneath the catcher helps him a little bit quicker on the throw down to second base. Certainly helped Caleb Joseph. Of course, won Matt Wieters a couple Gold Gloves, and is hoping that it'll work for Francisco.
And Ynoa here helping Cisco out by continuing to put the thought in Frazier's head that he'll throw to first, and also he's changing the cadence. Sometimes a long hold will frustrate a base stealer. And strike 3 call. That's a perfect pitch.
I know it seems like he's showing some real good command of the slider. He's on a little front door backed up on him. He gets away with a pitch. Cisco calling for it down and away. That's a real solid start against Tampa. He was starting that slider off on that outside corner and working off the edge. Cleaned that one up a little bit, but nice job getting the first out.
So here is Andrew McCutchen, who had the career-type game last night, getting a nice ovation here. He is a free agent after this season, so this could very well be his final home game in Pittsburgh, and he's recognizing the fans.
Those career numbers. PNC Park. And of course, he put on a show last night. A grand slam, 3-run shot. Monster numbers against the Orioles, and of course an interleague play, but coming into yesterday's ball game didn't have a home run. Boy, did he change that number. A couple big balls and his first career grand slam.
Well, he's 30 years old, got off to a very slow start, but you look here with a few games to go. The Pirates head to Washington after tonight's game. They have a 4-game series with the Nats, and he's at 28 home runs and 87 RBIs. Last year he hit 24 home runs and had 79 RBIs, so he has topped both those categories this year, when supposedly he was an old 30. So he will certainly attract attention on the free agent market. Question is, will the Pirates keep him? And the speculation around here is it all depends on what they think their team will be next year. Are they contenders in the NL Central next year, or are they a year or two away? And that could influence whether or not they do bring him back. Fouls it off, so 1-2.
Boy, but you look at their pitching. They've got a solid rotation. They've got a real solid bullpen. And you've talked about it here in this short series. Just where would the Pirates be if they had any kind of offense? Because their pitching has certainly been solid enough, and McCutchen seems like he's right back to his old self, a consistent offensive player that's very productive. The other two outfielders kind of let this offense down. They were counting on them.
Fouls it back to stay alive. Of course, they asked McCutchen. Actually, they told McCutchen, you're playing right field now. And they opened it up for Marte, and then Marte got suspended. So McCutchen back in center field and maybe more comfortable there. But since the beginning of June, he has really been a force in the lineup. Noah's ahead of him, 1-2. Frazier at first, now with 1 down. It's off the off-speed pitch.
That was McCutchen that kind of started turning things around for the Pirates in June. They had their first successful month. They finished 500, and then he continued to have that production into July, and that's when they started talking postseason again. They get back into the playoffs, and they ended up slowing down big time in August and, of course, into September here. But a couple very solid months led by that man right there.
Pops it up wide of first. Alvarez over. He's going to run out of room.
Noah's slider was not quite as sharp as we've seen it in earlier starts. Floating up there in the middle of the plate. Let's get that nice finisher off that outside corner.
Noah just 24 years old, and he's trying to take advantage of this opportunity. This will be his final start of the year. So he'd like to give the decision maker something positive to remember. Another throw to first.
Well, Gabriel was in the mix, the 5th spot coming out of spring training. And Tillman kind of took a turn for the worst and had to start the season on the disabled list. Didn't quite have enough to land that spot. So this is, like you said, a great opportunity to show that he can bring enough consistent pitches.
Runner goes, and a ground ball base hit past Scope, who broke to cover the base. McCutchen perfectly placed. Well, there's a hit and run single, and Pittsburgh with runners at first and third.
Now put the base runner in action, and Jonathan Scope makes a mistake and actually turns to the base. Supposed to keep your shoulders square until that ball is off the bat, just so you can have give yourself a little bit more range. But he turned his shoulders on a dead run to second base, and that just cut his range right down. The ball sneaks by him, and McCutchen stays hot. Pirates threatening now with runners at first and third.
And here's the cleanup man, Josh Bell. 252, and he's in a 3-for-21 drought. So 2 singles, first and third, only 1 down. Let's get a look at StatCast powered by AWS. Frazier the runner at third. McCutchen is the runner at first. So good speed out there for the Pirates. And only one down here in the first inning. You know, you mentioned how Inoa almost made the club out of spring training. And I was talking to a coach a week or so ago who has had minor league experience and major league experience as a coach. And he said the AAA level is the toughest level to coach players because those players don't believe they should be there. And Inoa got off to a very slow start after a tremendous spring. And you just wonder if mentally he was disappointed that he pitched so well and still couldn't crack the opening day roster. And then he got off to a slow start.
Well, I think that comes into play for sure. I think it's all a mental test, really. And in a lot of ways, you find a young arm like Inoa. And I think the Orioles fortunate enough to get him from the Mets. You know, you just kind of see how they are mentally. It's strong enough.
Well, Bell goes the opposite way, and that'll score a run as Frazier comes in. McCutchen stops at second, so Josh Bell picks up his 85th ribby. And just like that, the Pirates have a 1-0 lead.
Now spraying the ball around a little bit, not trying to do too much here. Couple opposite field hits. Put him on the board first. Josh Bell having himself a strong rookie campaign.
Well, Inoa got a ground ball, found the hole.
Yeah, a couple of them. It's a matter of get the defense to help them out a little bit. Take one of these infield knocks away.
Veteran David Freese now. And there's a slider missing again outside. We'll 1-0 the count.
That's a good one, though. That's probably his best slider. Yeah. He's working a little backwards himself here. He's throwing some more get-me-over sliders when he falls behind. That's the nasty one there that he should throw when he gets ahead.
Fastball for a strike. Well, and again, this should be comfortable for Inoa because Cisco caught most of his starts in AAA. And they are the battery here tonight. But Inoa for the Tides was 6-9, and his ERA was 5.25. So those numbers don't really jump out at you, but he did finish strong. Right at Alvarez, he'll go to second out there, back to first, and a double play. Nicely done by Hardy and Inoa on the back end. That ball was blistered, and Pedro starts the 3-6-1 double play. So the Pirates settle for one. They get 3 hits, but the double play ends the inning at PNC. Ending double play, and of course he'll lead off here in his former home ballpark.
Pedro Alvarez, his first hit in the major leagues. It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Pedro Alvarez! first baseman, number 24, Pedro Alvarez.
Oh, very nicely done by the Pirates. They showed on the video board his first big league hit. That was nice.
Yeah,
and his parents were in the stands, and a nice ovation. Of course, his leaving Pittsburgh was nothing more than economics. They had Bell coming along. He came up as a third baseman, had moved over to first base.
Pretty good numbers right there, power-wise. 62 home runs here at PNC Park.
Against the shift, diving stop there by Frazier, but he won't be able to get him. So Pedro has a base hit in his return to Pittsburgh.
Pedro Alvarez has been hitting the ball hard since his recall. Take a look, the big shift, and he finds the hole just out of the diving effort. And then too deep there for Frazier.
So the Orioles' first hit, and for a second straight inning, the leadoff man on. And here's Trey Mancini, who brings a 15-game hitting streak into tonight's game, which has tied the rookie record for hitting streaks by an Oriole. And it is low 1-0.
Trey's done some pretty impressive things this year. One thing we forgot to talk about, you know, at the end of last year, he had such a good minor league season. He gets the call up, and he had like 5 home runs.
That hits the base, and that's a base hit. And that is a hitting streak record for Trey Mancini. 16th consecutive game, more than any rookie in Orioles history. And how about that? A swinging bunt that rolls and hits the base.
You love it. Hey, you work so hard, hustling down the line. Gets his head on a swivel just to make sure. You see Freeze trying to get that ball to go foul, but catches the base, and the streak lives on for Trey Mancini. New record.
So the streak is now his. He was tied with Rich Coggins, who had a 15-game streak in 1973. Eddie Murray had a 15-game streak in 97. And Brian Roberts had a 15-game streak in his rookie season in 2001. Mancini now with a 16-game hitting streak. So the record for a rookie is his. And down by a run, 2 on with nobody out for Chance Sisco. Just off the plate. Man, he has a good eye, Sisco.
Yeah, he does. Nice quiet takes up there. He's not in a rush to do anything special. He's going to get his pitch in the strike zone and put a good swing on it. Here, a great opportunity.
Fouls it back, pretty good cut.
Yeah, Cool staying aggressive with his fastball here in the early going. Especially that big four-seamer. It's holding a good velocity, 97, 98.
It is his second career start against the Orioles. No decision in Baltimore in the series in June. He went 5 innings, allowed just 1 run. But he walked 4 in that game, and that elevated his pitch count. He was at 90 pitches through 5 innings, and Clint Hurdle took him out. Hurdle's done an outstanding job here in Pittsburgh, reviving this franchise. Interesting defense for the Pirates in the outfield. I guess the reports are that Sisco likes to spray the ball around. You see the left fielder Marte, he is well over towards the line. McCutchen shading towards the gap. And in right field, Polanco shading towards the right center gap. So he has a lot of room in left center and down the right field line if he pulls it.
He sure does. Kind of tough pulling this 97, 98 though.
Line drive to the gap in left center field. He put it exactly there. Marte over to cut it off. Pedro will score. And heading to second base with an RBI double, sliding in there safely, is Sisco.
Boy, beautiful swing right there from Chance Sisco. Just kind of taking what is given. It squares up the baseball and it jumps out there into the gap. Boy, what a swing. That's a pitcher's pitch too, down and away on that outside corner. Marte a couple extra steps, allow Cisco to slide in there to second base. And of course, the Orioles on the board.
So his second double. He's now 5 for 13 with 4 RBIs in the bigs. Mancini goes to third, Cisco at second. 2 in scoring position for JJ with nobody out. So the O's get that run right back. Tapper towards third, and that will roll foul. JJ not as fortunate as Mancini was. Trey's hugged the line and hit third base.
Take a look at the new StatCast item for the sac fly. So for J.J. Hardy to drive in Alvarez, he's got to get it out beyond the yellow marking. It's a 50-50 shot. If the ball lands in the yellow, the widest part, in front there's a red line there. That's no go. That's not going to be a sac fly. Beyond that, where there's a green line, that would be the sacrifice fly that would score the run, the highest percentage of the opportunity.
Ground ball towards third, Freeze gloves. He will take the out at first. Scoring is Mancini, and moving to third is Cisco, who ran right in front of David Freeze. So an RBI ground out for JJ, and the O's get the lead.
There you go. Good base running. So that StatCast that we just showed you with the sacrifice flies, it does take into account, of course, the outfield arms as well. So the depths of that sac fly box will change, and of course it'll change with the speed of the runner on third base as well. And there's a look once again, and it changes in and out. You see McCutchen, it's a little bit shallower. Not the strongest arm out there in center field. So the arm strength on the corners, you see it push back a little bit.
So that is Santander's box right there.
Well, yeah, well, it's placed for the outfielders basically. So if Santander hits it beyond the green line, that's money. That's a sac fly almost 100% of the time. When it gets in that yellow box, that's a danger zone. That's a 50-50 shot for third base coach to make that call. A lot of times it's going to depend on the situation in the ball game. We're here in the early going. Might want to take that chance if the ball's in that yellow spot.
So McCutchen, who now has 9 assists, with his assist here tonight, his box was further back. That ball is crushed to the gap in right center field. McCutchen on the run. He's not going to get it. Santander places it in between the 2 outfielders, and he has an RBI double. Scoring from third is Cisco, and the Orioles have a 3-1 lead.
A couple hard hit balls here in this inning. Pedro Alvarez getting things going with the hard ground ball single, and then Cisco smoking a ball in the gap. And how about Santander getting on top of the high cheese and crushing it. Yeah, you see McCutchen slid over into the left field gap. He beats him deep in right center. One hopping the wall. Nice swing there by Santander.
And he has a 3-game hitting streak now. 3 for 5 in the last 3 games. Here's Gabriel Inoa, who has had 3 at-bats in his career and does not have a hit. Bobby Dickerson came down and talked to him, and I thought what Bobby was probably saying is, get this bunt down.
Yeah.
He didn't show that he was going to bunt. Bouncer back to the mound. Santander played it well and gets back to the bag as Inoa's gunned down at first. And 2 down. Let's get a look at our MASNsports.com blog recap, all brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. Rock Kabatko writing about Gabriel Inoa and this latest opportunity to impress, and Steve Molesky on Kevin Gausman's interleague struggles and the slow month on offense with the O's and much more. So check them out at MASNsports.com. There's Austin Hayes for his second at bat with a runner in scoring position. Santander's getting a really good lead out there. And Hayes takes ball 1.
Important to really stretch it out. Now with 2 outs, typically the middle infielders will back off that base runner. Once he gets out there in no man's land, that's when an infielder is going to put on a pick play. And real quickly, maybe just call timeout, get the pitcher's attention. But Santander's got to get an aggressive primary lead out there at second base. One of the things the Orioles constantly working on. Base running. And of course, you got to stretch it out. You get 2 outs out there. It's an important run. Santander's got to take advantage of every inch he can.
One and 0 on Hayes. Cool averages 8 strikeouts per 9 innings, but he has averaged just a tick over 4 walks per game. In fact, he is tied for the 4th most walks in the National League. He's now walked 72 with his walk of Hayes in the 1st inning. It's a lot of extra base runners. This inning, the Orioles have done it with 4 hits. Borderline call, and it went the pitcher's way. 1 and 2 on Hayes.
You see everything out of his hand hard right now. I mean, everything's about 89 and up. Even his slider, he's throwing it really hard. So he's mixed in a couple pitches to kind of offset that. Maybe a little gear change. He hasn't flipped in that curveball yet, but it is definitely a big part of his repertoire. The Orioles show getting on that heater.
Well, it looked like a cutter. Hayes swings through it. Big inning for the O's. They get 3 and strand 1. 3-1 O's. $500 for being selected, and will win $500 more for every Orioles home run hit in the game tonight. You can play Home Run Riches scratch-offs and win up to $50,000 instantly. Learn more at mdlottery.com/homerun. The RBI producers, of course, Mancini's hit set up the inning. Pedro got it going with a leadoff single, and then Francisco, an RBI double that tied the game, and the Orioles added 2 more. So a productive inning, and now Noah with a lead. And they'll get ahead of Polanco, Diaz on deck, and then Rodriguez.
Polanco, you see the numbers there. Only 10 home runs last season, 22, so they were expecting a little more.
Well, there's one to the back of the bleachers in right field. That makes it a 1-run game. His 11th, and he snaps out of a 4 for 21 with that home run. Well, it's a 3-2 game. 108 miles an hour off the bat. It certainly looked it.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at the offering here. Got a nice pitch. The first one, a little backdoor slider, and then tries to sneak the cheese in there underneath the hands, and Polanco gets that bat head to it. It came off hot. Stayed tall on the pitch. Nice smooth swing. You see it come off the bat like that. I expect a lot more production.
Popped up wide of first. That'll be in the stands. Our broadcast booth, the pretty high here, and every ball off the bat looks like it's going to stay in the field and play. And that one was well back. Pedro didn't even give it a look, as he has a little better view. All the other way. Nothing and 2 on Elias Diaz. Okay. We're there somewhere.
Oh, my.
Way at the top. Let's wave, Bordy.
I didn't realize we were up that high.
Where are we? Here we are.
Oh, my.
Here we are. How you doing?
Yeah, no foul balls coming up here. I feel safe.
So, well, I'm here to protect you.
Thank you.
And he got him. That was a real good sequence there. He gets 2 foul balls and a swing and a miss.
Yeah, you said it. Nice job working in and out. In with the fastball and then finishes him off with that slider. Starts on the plate and just works off. Nice pitch there. Homie Noah. The big fastball velocity that we've seen. Just running out of steam, but some pretty good location in that sequence.
Here's Sean Rodriguez, who is back with the Pirates. He had been with Atlanta, and they acquired him on August the 5th. Clint Hurdle loves having Rodriguez on this team because of his versatility. Since he's been back in August 5th, not that long ago, he's played 7 different positions. Bouncer to Manny for the second out. The 2 down here in the Pittsburgh second inning. Fans, on Friday, September 29th, you can join the O's Zone Rally team presented by Budweiser 5 to 7 p.m. at the Wayward Southern Bar and Kitchen in Baltimore. Our special guests include former Orioles pitcher Scotty McGregor and the Oriole Bird and his entourage. For the complete rally information, just go online, Orioles.com/rallies. Always fun to talk baseball with Scotty. And a lot of Orioles fans here today making the drive. I met a few on the field before the game, and they drove here today. They're going to watch the game, and they're driving back tonight. Like that's ambitious.
Yeah, right.
They love their O's, and they wanted to see the Orioles play at PNC.
Yeah, we walked back with a few last night.
We did.
In the game.
And one of us got us lost.
It's a good fastball. Velocity starting to climb back up. Typically, you know, working that fastball in the mid-90s. Good one at 94.
And he gets Cool, the pitcher, for the final out. So the home run for the Pirates makes it a 1-run game. We head to the 3rd. It's 3-2 O's. Scope will lead off for the Orioles, and here's a look at our Coons.com league leaders. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons. Well, most total bases in the American League, and Jonathan Scope is on that list, as he is running 6th with 311 total bases on the year. There's Jonathan, career highs, 32 home runs, 105 RBIs. He is 5th in the league in RBIs, and I think as important, Mike, he is tied for 5th in base hits with 180. So The power's nice, but he's been consistent getting on base as well.
You got that right. I mean, it seems like every night. I think he's one of the leaders in multi-hit games as well. So doing it all, picking up his knocks, being productive in an RBI spot. I mean, just an overall exceptional year, and everybody on that list, at least most of them, kind of in MVP talks for the year.
Scope's second at bat, and he leads off here in the Oriole third inning. Left field, Marte is there, and on one pitch, one down. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Manny called out on strikes his first at bat. That was the final out of the first, and he had a long calm talk with Chris Segal, the home plate umpire.
After the first pitch got called a ball, borderline pitch at the bottom of the strike zone, then it looked like there were two calls in that at bat that were worse, called strikes. It's really a good gripe. At least you let the home plate umpire know that you know the strike zone. Sometimes it's necessary to let the umpire know.
Well, 2-0 on Machado, who was just 8 for his last 53 over his last 14 games, including tonight. It's a 151 clip for Manny in the last 14 games. Chad Kuhl has had a real strong finish. Last 5 starts, his ERA is 3.33. And over his last 15 starts, 3.25. He's another pitcher who is hindered by run support. Of all the runs they got for him all year, they got 12 for him in one game. I mean, here the Pirates have had a real tough finish to their season, and their pitching in the month of September has pitched to an ERA of 3.39 as a staff. You should be able to win a lot of games pitching that well. 3-2, and Manny goes down on strikes. He is over 2 with a couple of Ks.
Yeah, Kuhl bringing some noise in there. Aggressive inside with the firm fastball. Manny just gearing it up. A little too long right now with the swing. The fatigue starting to set in. And Manny, I think at times try to overcome a little bit. And the body starts to fatigue. You get that bat going a little bit sooner. That's what's happening with Manny's swing. He's getting it started a little too soon. And the swing getting a little long.
Alvarez got the rally going in the second with a leadoff single. He came around the score on the Chance Sisco RBI double. Well, it's got to be tough emotionally for a player. I mean, obviously this has not been the year the Orioles had hoped for. They got off to the great 22-10 start, but then had a losing May, a losing June, losing July. They did have a winning August, but then a losing month here in September to fall out of contention. Kuhl has a 3-up, 3-down inning, mid-third, 3-2 game. hosts an exciting home schedule featuring 10 matchups against teams that last year advanced to the postseason. Visit umterps.com or call 1-800-IM-A-TERP and purchase your season tickets today. Roberto Clemente Bridge over the Allegheny River. This beautiful ballpark, PNC Park. We have a nice complex here, as we do in Baltimore, with the football stadium and the baseball stadium next to each other. The Steelers Stadium is that way.
Can't believe you said Steelers on the air.
Well, they do host the games. Ball one to Adam Frazier, leadoff man. He singled and scored in the first. Ynoa falls behind 2-0. Ynoa got into 10 games with the Mets last year, made 3 starts, and he was a winning pitcher in his big league debut. It was on August 13th of last year. He got into an extra inning game. He pitched the top of the 11th, and then the Mets walked it off in the bottom of the 11th, and he got the win. Center field chases Hayes back, and he'll get there, and Austin runs it down for the out, and 1 down. Well, fans, an annual fan favorite is back. The 2018 Orioles Pet Calendar, presented by Pet ER. It's on sale at Orioles.com/pet calendar. It's on sale at the ballpark and the official team store in York. Now, proceeds benefit Barks, the Baltimore Animal Rescue and Care Shelter. Each year the calendar sells out, so grab your copy now. Orioles.com/pet calendar. Strike one to Starling Marte, who struck out his first at bat.
Well, looked like Ynoa here starting to settle in with his command, especially with the slider. Such an important pitch for him. Primarily a 2-pitch pitcher, although the last deep fly out there was a changeup up at the top of the zone. In spring training, that was the question. Does he have enough pitches? I mean, primarily fastball, slider. Learn how to develop that changeup, and that'll certainly help him add to his arsenal. Well, I'm sure this offseason is going to be spent developing that change.
A lot of action there, and Marte chased it.
A good slider. We've seen a few of those swings here recently against Ynoa. There's a problem picking up the baseball. At least the spin on the slider.
Weak ground ball to short. Hardy has to charge. He fires to get him by a step. Nicely done by J.J. Hardy.
Boy, that is exceptional play right there by J.J. Hardy. You know, recognizing the speed of the ball, so he hits an incredible first step, and the speed of the runner. Knows he's got to one-time it. A strong throw on the run. See Alvarez with the stretch just in time to get the speedy Marte. Nice play by J.J. Hardy.
Pedro getting a start. Nice gesture by Buck Showalter to get Pedro in there in his former home ballpark. Here's Andrew McCutchen. Singled his first at bat.
There you go. He'll start to feel comfortable with that pitch, and he'll typically throw it about 50-50. And working it in and out. The slider very effective.
Coming into this start, left-handers had 17 hits off Ynoa, and right-handers had 17 hits off Ynoa. It's amazing how we're seeing a lot of similarities, like we saw last night with Gausman with his home road ERA, both identical. Gausman was making his 33rd start. By the way, Buck Showalter said before the game today that Kevin Gausman may pitch that last game on Sunday. He may make that start. It would be his normal day to pitch. Buck indicated before the Orioles got to Pittsburgh that that would be Kevin's last start last night. But he spoke a little differently about it today. 3-2 is bounce foul. Miley's going to start the first game, but that was as far as he would go.
I wouldn't mind seeing Kevin Gausman make another start. I think the start he had yesterday was certainly wasn't what we've been used to seeing the second half of the season for Gausman.
Fights it off to stay alive. We're trying to get his first clean 3-up, 3-down inning. As a starter in his brief time in the big leagues, in his 6 career starts, his ERA in those is 3.18. And he lost him, so the 3-2 pitch. There was a 2-out walk. Well, back in the day, Mike, let's go down memory lane. Let's head back to the wonderful decade of the 70s. And the best records in that decade, of course, are the Big Red Machine, a .592 winning percentage, but then the Orioles and the Pirates right behind them. And the Orioles and the Pirates faced off in a couple of World Series.
Yeah, I mean, and really, these are the names that you remember when you talk about the Orioles and Palmer, Cuellar, and McNally, all coming out of the 70s. Of course, Brooks and Frank Robinson, part of the early 70s teams, and Boog Powell. So, and with the Pirates, it was the We Are Family teams of the 70s with Willie Stargell and Dave Parker. Colvey was in that mix. I mean, pretty impressive teams, obviously. So many World Series appearances there in the 70s. But these two locked horns a couple times. It's pretty exciting. And they, of course, would love to kind of spark that kind of playoff intensity again.
Yeah, with the two cities certainly drivable, as we've seen here with the fans you and I have met. If these teams ever faced off in another World Series with the two beautiful ballparks, that would be something.
Oh, man.
2-0 after the walk on the 3-2 pitch. And Bell fouls it back. Bell drove in a run in the first inning with an RBI single. Josh Bell, like Pedro, was drafted as a third baseman, but now playing at first base. That ball is crushed. Santander turns, and that ball is gone. And that'll give Pittsburgh the lead, 4-3. Second home run allowed by Inoa.
Big ball there, picking up his 25th home run. The Pirates take the lead again. Back and forth ball game right now. Let's see where this one ended up. Bell tie in the middle of the plate. He reaches out there and gets the barrel on it. And it jumps out of the park.
So Inoa had a 3-1 lead, but the two home runs each of the last 2 innings has Pittsburgh back on top. And the 2-out walk got him in trouble. He couldn't put away McCutchen. Bell got ahead in the count, found his pitch.
Looked like things were starting to go smoothly. Those walks, they come back and haunt you.
Gotten a piece of Cisco. 1-2 on David Freese. Bounced into an inning-ending double play in the first. Freese is now 34 years old. Popped up to right. Scope is out. Santander calls. Anthony has it for the out. The Pirates get 2 on the home run by Bell. We head to the 4th. Pittsburgh back in front. The second extended his hitting streak to a rookie record 16 in a row. And we look back, and here's how Trey stacks against other Orioles rookies. A .294 batting average is fourth best. The BAL Bunbury had the best rookie average in 1973. 156 hits is third. Eddie Murray 173. 24 home runs is third. Cal had 28. 54 extra base hits. Cal had 65. At 64 runs scored 11th. Cal had 90 runs scored in his rookie year in 1982. But Trey Mancini very well represented on all those lists in Orioles rookie history.
Yeah, how about that company all-time Orioles there. Trey Mancini having a historic year.
And 4 of those 5 categories, the leader is in the Hall of Fame. No pressure, Trey. Just keep doing what you're doing. About another 19 years and you'll join those guys. Check swing, he went too far, 2-1.
Hard slider there, 89 miles an hour. Everything really that comes out of Kuhl's hand is hard. His changeup, more like just a slower two-seamer.
Center field chases McCutchen back a few steps. Mancini's out and one away. The 4th inning of Orioles baseball is brought to you by the all-wheel drive RAV4 Toyota. What drives you? Visit buyatoyota.com for great deals. Here's Chance Sisco. 1 out, nobody on. Chance RBI double in the 3-run rally in the 2nd inning, and he hit it exactly where they weren't playing him, the left center field.
That was a pretty impressive swing by Chance Sisco. Nasty fastball painted on the outside corner, and he stayed on it. Barreled it up. Cool. Hard time throwing that first pitch strike. Only 5 of 15. Really all over the place. We talked about his command. Not too good this season. Walking over 4 per 9 inning.
His junior year at Delaware, he went 10-2. And that hit Sisco. Ooh. That hurts.
89-mile-an-hour slider. Expected right off the shoe top. Take a look. Gets that front foot down and a target on it.
That is the 6th batter Kuhl has hit this year, and it puts the tying run on with 1 down. Here's JJ. Up and in. Right now beginning to get loose. Noah already has thrown 57 pitches. He just had a 25-pitch 3rd inning. Strike on the outside corner. The Orioles going with a 10-man bullpen. And Buck Showalter did say before the game that they may add a pitcher for the weekend series at Tropicana Field this weekend. Behind the runner, diving back in safely is Sisco, and that is in part because of the pitchers who no longer will pitch this year.
We'll take a look at this play here. A 91-mile-an-hour cutter. And, as soon as Diaz receives the ball, it's out of his hand, thrown behind Sisco. Diaz hoping that foot's a little small enough to slow him down.
He paints the outside corner, gets the call, so 2 down as Hardy is out. Strikeout number 4 for Kuhl.
Kuhl gets good action on his slider right now, 90 miles an hour. Just getting on the side of the baseball. A little bit of tilt on that pitch as well. He's getting on that pitch.
Here is Santander. He's all over that.
Beautiful swing. His first at bat, whipping a double deep into right center. And here, jumping on the first pitch slider, getting out in front a little bit.
For a hitter who missed most of the year rehabbing the elbow injury in Sarasota, he looks pretty good. He wasn't getting a lot of playing time until the Orioles were eliminated, and now he's getting some starts. Orioles want to give him a look. And he'll head to the Arizona Fall League to get more at-bats. And that'll be beneficial.
Oh, yeah. That's all he needs right now. He's keep getting some ABs under his belt because he's got a nice understanding of his own strike zone from both sides of the plate. Big-time pop in both ways.
And another base hit. He hooks it in the right field. And Cisco's easily going to head to third. So Santander is 2 for 2.
Well, nice job keeping the bat head through the zone, just a hair longer, staying on one of the slowest pitches Cool's thrown in this ball game. Looked like a changeup at 84 miles an hour. He was able to stay on it, find a way to pick up a big knock. Piece of hitting now, 2 for 2.
So the pitcher's spot is due, and here's Mark Trumbo to pinch hit for Gabriel Ynoa, who was 0 for 1. Look at the interleague numbers, the highest OPS and Mark on that list.
Oh yeah, he's put up some serious numbers, the high on base and slugging percentage, and one of the tops in all of baseball in interleague play over the last couple seasons. Trumbo, the monster season last year, numbers good enough this season to hold up there with the tops.
Swings through a slider, 0-1. Trumbo's in a 1 for 21 drought. That is a 0.48 clip over his last 7 games, and he, like several of the run producers on this club, have had a tough September. And he fouls it back. Let's get a look at our Hyundai StatCast. There's no better time than now to see your Hyundai dealer for huge savings on all new Hyundai vehicles. Visit buyhyundai.com. As always, the shift on against Trumbo, with Bell the only infielder on the right side.
Well, a good opportunity now with the 2 strikes, though, to just shoot a ball out there. Man, Cool's been staying away from the hitters, primarily with that slider on that outside corner. Hughes put it in play on the right side, pick up an RBI, get this inning going.
And he got it. Trumbo goes down on strikes, and that ends the inning. The O strand 2. We head to the bottom of the 4th. Pirates in front.
Hits and 4 earned runs on the board. Couple home runs mixed in there. And Noah just a little off his game. Now it's time for a quick pitching change, just like a Jiffy Lube signature service oil change. In and out fast, and you never need an appointment. Well, Mike Wright coming out of the O's bullpen. Take a look at his numbers on the year. Not so good. 6.75 earned run average. Solid season down in AAA, but some hard times when he gets opportunities here at the major league level. Right now, Buck Showalter like to eat up some innings here in the middle part of this ball game. Just to get to the back end. And the Orioles offense could put some more runs on the board. Right this season, 200 with the first batter.
He last pitched Saturday against Tampa Bay, and the Rays knocked him around a bit. He allowed 4 earned runs in just 2/3 of an inning. He also allowed a solo home run to Logan Morrison.
Noah not quite as sharp as he was obviously in his last start. He went 8 strong innings and very efficient.
There's a comebacker off the bat of Polanco. And 1 down here in the 4th. Fans, Orioles Reach and Buck and Angela Showalter are once again joining forces with Kids Piece to host the 8th annual Trick or Trot 5K 1-mile walk, a Halloween-themed race to benefit children in foster care. The Saturday, October 28th race begins and ends at Camden Yards. Costumes are encouraged, and prizes will be awarded in various categories. So to register for the event or more information, Orioles.com/kidspiece. One off the glove towards the middle. Scope is there. The long throw, and he got him! What a play by Scope. Diaz in the headfirst dive trying to get that hand in, and Scope, outstanding play to get the catcher.
Well, it really was, and another great stretch by Pedro Alvarez at first base. Take a look here, little comebacker off the glove of Mike Wright. And Jonathan Scope there, maybe an extra step. Might have to call him for traveling, but he finally gets rid of the baseball. Take a look at the bull on the back end, the strong stretch, just to get Diaz on that diving attempt, a base hit. That's where it paid the price right there. A good stretch.
So 2 down, 2 quick outs. Sean Rodriguez, and he'll take a strike. The only time, in my opinion, that it's a good idea to dive into first base is if it's a high throw and the first baseman's foot's going to come off the bag. It seems to me that you slow down when you go into that dive.
Yeah. And it's been taught for years now to not dive into first base at first, if only to avoid potential errant throw and a tag from a first baseman. But you know, it's just tough, that human nature. You know, you see it out there and you think that diving at it's going to be a little bit quicker, but it's not. The riskier, the chance of injury goes up quite a bit.
And Pedro with a couple of nice stretches here tonight. That time helping out Scope. By the way, that play went 1-4-3 because it did touch the glove of Mike Wright. Right field for Santander, and he makes the catch. He circled to it, and it hung up there long enough. Nicely done by Anthony. 3 up, 3 down inning for Mike Wright.
The 2-game set. Chance Cisco gets the Orioles on the board. Alvarez scores for the O's. Of course, the Buccos score 1 run in the first, and the Oriole offense answers right back. Nice hit there by Santander. How about the long ball coming up big for the Pirates? Josh Bell, 102 miles an hour off the bat, 405 feet away. That was a big ball right there. Pirates with the lead, 4-3. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save.
Lovely night in Pittsburgh. Those trail at 4-3 as they come to bat here in the 5th. And the top of the lineup against Cool. Austin Hayes has walked. He has struck out. He is 0 for his last 9, looking to get a base hit. You can't blame Cool for going out there because Seagal, more times than not, has given him that corner. That time this is low. Good take.
Yeah, real good take. Little change up right there, 89 miles an hour. See the ball well way off a pitch like that. Cool, gearing it up, 97, 98.
There's a base hit for Hayes. And he is hustling towards first base and will put on the brakes. Leadoff single for Austin Hayes. Orioles baseball on Masson brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. And by Nissan. Take the unexpected with Nissan's available intelligent safety shield technologies. Innovation that excites. Sounds exciting. Okay, so there's your 0 for Hayes. It was 0 for 9. He's like Mancini.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't last too long.
Mancini was kidding the other day. He said if he could erase the Angels games, he'd be fighting for the batting title. He went 0 for the Angels this year.
Ouch.
Hayes gets on with a single. That is his 12th base hit. His enthusiasm, I hope, is infectious.
Has to be.
He is fun to watch. You know, and I know you were this type of player, but the one thing that I really admire is when a player hits a routine ground ball and he sprints all the way to first base. It's 90 feet, just sprint. And over the course of the year, you'll force an error on a throw where the fielder's not expecting you to do that.
Well, I will say this. One thing about baseball, you get out there every day, and if you start creating bad habits, it just becomes part of your game. You know, you see Santana get loose out in the Pirates bullpen. All of a sudden, you hit a hard ground ball right at the shortstop or third baseman. You start jogging down the line. That's just going to become part of what you do. So why not keep everything at a high level?
There should be 2. Rodriguez out there. Ball dropped, and out at second base is Hayes, as recovering is Frazier. So the drop cost them a chance for a double play. They do at least get an out.
Routine looked like it was going to be 6-4-3 double play, but Frazier catching it a little bit deep there. Little redirection on the transfer. Does not find his right hand, but quickly recovers and gets that force out at second base.
So Scope replaces Hayes at first. And Machado now with a chance. Manny now 0 for 6 in this series. Took an 0 for last night. Hard hit ball to third. There's Freeze. Out at second. Frazier back to first. There's a double play. And goes around the horn. 5-4-3. Mid-fifth. 4-3 Pittsburgh. Coverage of Major League Baseball presented by T-Mobile. Here are the headlines. Altuve has done it again. He got his 200th hit today. He becomes the first player in big league history with multiple 20 home run, 30 stolen base, 200 hit seasons. JD Martinez, by far the hottest home run hitter. He hit his 29th today since being acquired July 19th. 16 home runs for JD in September. And how about the Yankee fan ejected for trying to tip pitches for Gary Sanchez? He was yelling out from the stands behind home plate where Wilson Ramos was setting up, trying to help Sanchez, and the umpire at home plate heard that, and he said, you know what, it's no Apple Watch deal, but you're still helping him out. You're out of here. And the fan got ejected.
Come on. That's some old school stuff right there. Oh my gosh.
You know, sometimes the opposing teams could fool you, though. I remember one time when I was playing in a high school game, the runner at second base was trying to tell me what was coming, except he didn't know that they changed the signs. And oh boy, did I look silly thinking a fastball was coming. But those fans, they think they're helping. That's a dribbler out in front of the plate. Easy play for Cisco to get the pitcher cool. So one down. Mike Wright's retired all 4. Here's our PNC minor league report presented by PNC for the achiever in you.
I've been seeing a lot of young Orioles make their way up to the big leagues. Well, Yamar Reyes, another one of the young studs in the minor leagues, only 20 years old, but only played 50 games this year in Frederick Single A. He put up some impressive numbers, though, hitting .302, had 15 extra base hits. The reason why the limited playing time, he punched a wall.
Ouch.
Broke his pinky. Missed most of the season. Needed surgery to fix it. So hopefully the young man, learns not to get so frustrated in this ball game. You always get tomorrow. Try to redeem yourself.
There's a lot of cement around baseball dugouts. Wright came on in the 4th, a 3-up, 3-down 4th inning on just 7 pitches. And he gets the pitcher cool to begin here in the 5th. Chop to Pedro. That's a fair ball. He'll take it himself with 2 quick outs. Well, fans, you can discover Venice on Florida's Gulf Coast, recently recognized as one of the top 2 happiest seaside towns in America by Coastal Living. Plan now at visitsarasota.com. You can drive over the Roberto Clemente Bridge and just keep heading south. Good to see all the Orioles fans here.
That one's got a pirate hat on. Orioles shirt, pirate hat.
He's a little confused. Split loyalties. And there's a base hit in the left field off the bat of Marte. Manny made a lunging try, but it was hit too hard. And first base runner against Mike Wright, who really has struggled since coming back from AAA. In 9 innings since coming back, he's allowed 9 earned runs. And that is over 4 appearances. He's allowed runs in 3 of the 4. And he's allowed 3 home runs.
Of course, Mike Wright, it's always been wondering what his role would best suit him. Would it be a starting pitcher or in the bullpen? Coming out of the bullpen, he's getting up there 97, 98 at times. Right now, just pitching 90s with the heater.
Marte runs, and he has the bag. So the first chance against Cisco. Successful as Marte, stealing the bag, his 20th of the year.
Take a look. Low pitch, tough pitch to handle, but the footwork and everything pretty good. Jonathan Scope at the back end. A pickable ball right there, but I think Marte's speed beats it, but he was off the base. Jonathan had held on to it, might have gotten the out call.
And watching that replay angle, it looked like Marte stole that base off right. He had a huge chunk. So McCutchen with an RBI chance. because he had 8 RBIs last night. He became, in the history of this great Pittsburgh franchise, just the 3rd player since 1920, and 1920 was the year when the RBI became an official stat, to have a 4-hit game, score 4 runs, and drive in 8 in the same game. Johnny Rizzo did it in 1939, and Hall of Famer Ralph Kiner did it in 1950. So in the history of this franchise, that's been done 3 times, and last night McCutchen joined that group.
Impressive stuff. McCutchen definitely a fan favorite here.
Kiner's number 4 retired. Well, 2-1 on McCutchen. Pirates with a 1-run lead, have a runner out there at second base with 2 down. And you know, Mike, you talk about Mike Wright and where he may best fit with the Orioles. This is going to be a big offseason for him leading into spring training, because Buck Showalter brought up the other day that Mike Wright is out of options. So when he goes to spring training next year, he has to make the team or be exposed. And that one's outside. Looked like he wanted no part of the touch. Runner at second base. So 2 men on after 2 men down. First walk allowed by Mike Wright.
Well, a few years ago, Zach Britton came into spring training without any options left either. Next thing you know, he became best closers in the game. That's going to work out for Mike Wright as far as that closing situation, but he takes care of himself over the offseason, and it seems like the more experienced players get, the better they kind of settle in and understand what it's going to take to pitch at the highest level.
And he gets ahead of Josh Bell, who's had a big night. He drove in the game's first run with an RBI single in the first inning, then hit a 2-run home run in the 3rd to give Pittsburgh the lead back. And he has 2 on here with 2 men down.
That's a good fastball there from Mike Wright. Best velocity wise, and real good location, driving it in there underneath the hands. A lot he could do with that pitch, tied them all up.
He gets ahead 0-2. Strike 3 called. He snuck a breaking ball in there. So Josh Bell down on strikes. We head to the 6th. Our Honda do-ups, Alvarez, Mancini, and Cisco. Beautiful night in Pittsburgh, and there's an evening cruise on the Allegheny. It looks like fun. When we come back here in 3 years, you and I have to do that.
All right, sounds good. Where does it take you?
I tried to find out. Apparently, it's a very long river. It goes somewhere down that way, and turns around, and comes back. Here's Pedro swinging at the first pitch. Of course, you have the three rivers here, so you may end up on one of the other two.
Yeah.
Alvarez with a single in 2 trips. He scored a run, got the rally going in the second. The O's scored all 3 runs in the second inning. RBI double by Cisco, RBI ground out by Hardy, RBI double by Santander. Chad Kuhl out of Middletown, Delaware. There are a lot of Orioles fans in Delaware, and there's also a lot of Phillies fans in Delaware. And another base hit past the diving try of Frazier. Polanco plays it back in quickly, so Alvarez is on with another base hit.
Back-to-back starts for the Bull. A couple knocks. Here, staying on a backdoor slider. And hooking it. Frazier out there at second base doesn't know where to play. The Bull just out of the reach there. Nice diving effort, though. Nice swing by Pedro Alvarez.
So Trey Mancini will bat with a runner on. Trey now represents the go-ahead run. Leathersich and Santana. 14-man bullpen for the Pirates. Fastball by him. Trey with a base hit and his first at bat, a roller up the third base line that hit third base. Freese knew he had no play. He was hoping it would roll foul. It did not. He extends his hitting streak to 16 consecutive games to set a new Orioles rookie record.
You expect a couple more hits out of Trey after that single to extend the streak. A little dribbler down the third base line. Those are the kind of things that help your confidence. Not that Trey needs a lot of confidence going right now. Right in that 16-game hit streak.
Wow, that's a good take.
Now some cheese at the knees right there. Mancini will be ready to hit here with the 3-1 count.
And one there for a strike, so the count full. Doubtful Alvarez is put in motion. Pedro played 6 seasons here for the Pirates. Towards the middle, and another base hit for Trey Mancini. He just keeps on hitting. 47th multi-hit game of the year for Trey, and the Orioles have 2 on with nobody out. Well, we thank you for following along with Masson Orioles social media all season long. And O's fans, to show our gratitude, we're hooking fans up with signed gear from Adam Jones, Chris Davis, and Buck Showalter all week long. So follow Masson Orioles on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram for your chances to enter. So that'll do it for Chad Kuhl, as he has put the go-ahead runs on. Pitching change in Pittsburgh in the 6th.
3 earned runs, only 1 walk for Cool. He was kind of all over the place. Pitch count getting up there, 80 pitches. He'd have 5 strikeouts in the ball game, and Leathersich coming out of the Buccos bullpen. You have 14 relievers here in the month of September. This will be his 4th game. Came over from the Cubs, picked up on the waiver wire, and had himself a pretty strong year in AAA with Iowa. New to the Pirates organization, but been pitching pretty well for him in his limited opportunities.
I'll give him a good look in September. Alvarez and Mancini. Pedro the lead runner, trade the trail runner for Cisco. RBI double and a run scored in the 2nd. He was hit by a pitch in the 4th. So another RBI opportunity for the rookie. And he goes after the first pitch and an easy fly ball to left field. Marte is there and 1 down. Leathersich is from Massachusetts. There's the lowest bullpen ERA since September the 1st, and the Pirates 2.24.
Yeah, pretty impressive stuff. They got some big arms down there. And of course, we saw Brault yesterday throw 3 scoreless against the Orioles. Like every arm coming out of the pen, putting up some zeros.
So we hope you enjoyed Jack Leathersich, because he's done on 1 pitch. As Clint Hurdle's playing matchups here, we'll get the right-hander to come on to face J.J. Hardy with 2 on and 1 out in the 6th.
Arms coming out of the Buccos bullpen. This will be his 17th game with the Pirates. This will be his 3rd stint. Called up a couple times earlier in the season. He's been pitching very well here in September. He's had 6 scoreless appearances since being recalled on September 10th. See near the runner stranded, only 1. First batter, 1 for 14. So doing a nice job in that regard.
Almost a strikeout per inning in AAA. He'll face J.J. Hardy. Leathersich retires the only batter he faces. And now the rookie right-hander against Hardy. And our M&T Bank StatCast. M&T Bank, understanding what's important. Pedro the tying run, Mancini the go-ahead run. Trail runner at first. Hardy to left field, chases Marte back, and he runs it down on the warning track. Wow, that ball was hit well. Camden Yards, that might have been out.
Yeah, JJ got on that one. And turned on a fastball, worked back in on him. Got the barrel to it. He jumped. It is big here, though. PNC is a big park, especially over there in left field, left center. About 380, and then jumps up to 410. The deepest part. Chase Marte all the way back to the wall. See the corner out there in left center field. Gotta hit it to get it out there.
94 miles an hour off the bat, so it sounded good, but maybe not struck as well as we thought.
A little off the label.
They're trying to hit it into the Allegheny. Michael Givens is getting loose. The pitcher spot is due next. National League rules. Tanner trying to keep this inning going, get this game tied at least with the runner at second base. O's at first and second, nobody down, and now 2 men out. Easy fly ball to right, charging in on it Polanco, and he's got it. So the bullpen does the job. Orioles strand 2 mid-6th, 1-run game. On September 27th, 1993, Bo Jackson and the White Sox. 3-run home run and a 4-2 win over Seattle. Sox clinched the AL West title, their first title in 10 years. And in 1967, Ferguson Jenkins of the Cubs picks up the first of his 6 20-win seasons as the Cubs beat the Reds 4-1. The future Hall of Famer eventually would be traded to the Rangers, and he led the American League in 1974 with 25 wins. And how about those numbers in that long career for Ferguson Jenkins? The complete games jumps out at you, Mike. 267 complete games in 594 starts.
Huh.
No one will ever come near that again.
Isn't that amazing? Man.
And while we're at it, this date in baseball history, let's send happy birthday wishes to former Oriole Dick Hall, who's in the Orioles Hall of Fame, the great relief pitcher. He is 87 today.
Wow. All right. Happy birthday, Dick.
Nice man.
Yeah, great.
So Mike Wright stays on. His spot was due to bat next, and Castillo had come out on deck, but when the inning ended, Buck Showalter stays with the pitchers, pitching pretty well, and he gets freeze on a weak ground ball. So 1 down here in the Pirates' 6th. The 2017 Orioles yearbook is the perfect keepsake for the 25th anniversary season of Oriole Park at Camden Yards. The yearbook features a commemorative cover with images of 25 unforgettable players and moments from the 25 seasons at the ballpark that forever changed baseball. So get your copy today, $15 to order. Just go online, Orioles.com/publications. Here's Gregory Polanco, who hit a laser beam home run on a line drive to right field back in the 2nd. Pirates bullpen. Dovydas Neverauskas. It's amazing what you can do when you write it down phonetically.
I see Mike Wright, though, coming in this ball game, making some pitches here. Good slider there.
It's Polanco. That's a second strikeout, 2 down.
Good sequence, hitting the spots. Oh, well executed. Nice finish on the hard slider. Down in the bottom of the zone. Polanco swinging over the top.
Down. Here's Diaz, the catcher, and he'll take ball 1. Nice ball right there. Noah went 3 innings. Mike Wright is an out away from going 3 innings in relief. He's bridging the gap. And that's pretty good that Buck Showalter could get 3 innings out of him before his spot in the lineup came up. Trumbo pinch hit for Inoa in the 4th. And the pitcher's spot is due to lead off next inning for the O's. Well, if Mike Wright's future is as a reliever, these are the type of outings that can be encouraging for him and for the O's, because this would be the role he would be utilized in.
I'll tell you, you just cannot put the value on the bridge men, like what Castro did for the Orioles this season, eating up the middle innings.
No strike 3 call. 3 scoreless innings for Mike Wright. He had a couple of 3 up, 3 down innings. We are through 6 in Pittsburgh. Brought to you by M&T Bank. Understand what's important. And by Chesapeake Employers Insurance, your workers' compensation insurance company. On a beautiful night in Pittsburgh in a 4-3 game. And here's the new pitcher, Dovydas Neverauskas.
Yeah, Neverauskas, this will be his 22nd game coming out of the Pirates bullpen. Let's have a win, 274 earned run average, and believe it or not, his 5th call-up here to finish out the season. Up and down AAA Indianapolis. Good numbers there. You see the opponents hitting just 229. Overall, he's giving up the 3 long balls. Keeps the ball on the ground. 48%. Pretty good number right there. Around the league average.
Well, double switch. Rodriguez was at short. He moves to third. And Max Moroff comes in at shortstop. So Moroff will go into the number 9 spot, which is due second in the 7th. And the pitcher spot goes into the David Freese spot. Here's Seth Smith to pinch hit for Mike Wright. Three consecutive scoreless innings for both clubs. Smith fouls it back.
That fastball, 101 miles an hour.
Young man from Lithuania. He was signed as a non-drafted free agent.
Pretty much straight up. Seth Smith, a lot of times you see the big shift on him. I think because of the big fastball. He's staying pretty straight. A slight pull on Smith. Smith probably thinking about getting one of those fastballs up middle. Trying to stretch one out into the river.
And there's a base hit the opposite way. So Smith gets on with a pinch hit. And the Orioles again have the tying run on. And again, they have the leadoff man on. Fans, you can follow all of the Orioles chatter on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. And be among the first to receive breaking news straight from the team. Plus, connect with the Oriole Bird on Twitter at Oriole Bird to learn about all of his off-season community appearances and activities. Visit Orioles.com/connect for more. Here's Craig Gentry coming off the bench to pinch run. There's Austin Hayes for his 4th at bat.
He's trying to back leg right there. Get on that first pitch fastball.
Neverauskas is the first player from Lithuania to reach the big leagues. Non-drafted free agent. Hayes to left center field. McCutchen is over. And he's got it. So Hayes is retired for the first out. Back to first is Gentry. Fans, when the O's score, you score at McDonald's. The more the O's score, the more Chicken McNuggets you score. So download the McDonald's app today.
Jonathan Scope's about due.
He's hitless tonight. Gentry diving back in safely.
There you go. Lithuania.
They signed him young. He's been in the minor league since 2010. 187 games in the minor leagues. 40 games at AAA this year. 1 and 2, but an ERA of 2.86 in AAA Indianapolis.
pretty good fastball. Got up over 100 miles an hour. Works up there in the high 90s.
There's a number. That's going to be a tough play. Only play is at first. And Diaz scampers out there to get Scope. That moves the tying run in the scoring position with 2 down.
Yeah, pretty nice play right there by the young catcher. And take a look as he comes out of the gate. Scope gets on top of the slider. Notice how he bare hands the ball. Very tough to go down with your glove and actually make that transfer from the ground. Ball's dead. I'm going to get that hand over the top of the baseball.
He also had to jump over the bat.
Throw. Yeah. A little athleticism there.
A chance for Manny to get this game even. He was 0 for 4 last night, 0 for 3 here tonight. Chopper to third. Oh, what a play by Rodriguez. The short hop to get Machado. He was in no man's land, had to short hop it, and did it very nicely. And that'll end the inning. So the O's get a hit, 1 left, 7th inning stretch in Pittsburgh. Now to see your Hyundai dealer for huge savings on all new Hyundai vehicles. Visit buyhyundai.com. Lovely night out on the Allegheny. Quite a few boats out there. And here's Michael Givens on to work in the 7th.
Take a look. Michael Givens, 8 wins out of the Oriole bullpen. He's looking to pick up his 9th here. This ball game is trailing by 1. A strong year for Givens. 2.70 earned run average. Opponents hitting just 199 overall. And he's given up the 10 home runs in this season. But boy, has he been a dominant arm out of the Oriole pen. 190 batting average for the first batter faced.
Sean Rodriguez will lead off. He's at shortstop to begin the game now at third. He's hitless tonight. Max Maroff on deck, and then Adam Frazier, the leadoff hitter. Right field that chases Santander. And on the warning track, he runs it down, and it's off his glove. That ball carried on him, and I think Santander felt like he was going to get back on it. He turned his back on the field and then couldn't recover.
Yeah, I think just a little uncomfortable out there with the wall, the warning track coming up. A couple quick looks, and that second one kind of lost track of everything. A little tentative to reach out there at the very end. Rodriguez, though, getting on this Givens fastball, driving it to right center. And just out of the reach of Santander. Top of the glove. Pretty good effort right there, though.
Yeah, he got back on it, did everything but catch it. So there's an insurance run now at second base with nobody down on the double. And here's Max Maroff for his first at bat. Givens gets him out in front off speed.
Nasty changeup right there from Givens.
Maroff started at shortstop last night. He drew a walk and scored, otherwise 0 for 3. And his job is to somehow get Rodriguez to third. He falls behind 0-2.
Givens may not give him a chance.
Maroff has never faced Michael. He's working for the first time since Sunday. And he got him. 3-pitch strikeout.
Like that. When he doesn't waste any time. First pitch changeup. Get into the AB, then the high fastball. Why not try it again? 96. If you can. Swinging through all 3 pitches of Givens.
Michael changed his look tonight. He had been wearing the high team socks, and he's gone now to the other look where you don't see any socks, which most of the players wear. Breaking ball for a strike to Adam Frazier. Frazier singled and scored back in the first. The Pirates scored in the first 3 innings. 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third. The Orioles got all 3 of their runs in the second. There's a weak ground ball past the mound. Scope. Another fine play by Jonathan. 2 men down. Rodriguez ends up at third. So Maroff's inability to advance him may have cost them a run. This Caparetta telecast presented by authority of the Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. 4-3 game here at PNC Park. Both these teams on the move after the game. Buccos head to Washington. They have a 4-game series with the Nats beginning tomorrow night. And the O's head down to Tampa. Strike taken by Marte. Now the Pirates did a real nice thing this week. Josh Harrison is on the DL. He was hit by a pitch and he can't play the rest of the year. And he's a native of Cincinnati and still lives there. And his wife is due to have a baby sometime this week. And the Pirates told him, you know what? You're not going to play. I don't want you worried. Go home. And they let him go home to be with his wife.
Oh, wow.
Real nice gesture.
That is. Players get their time off anyway now, don't they?
Yeah, the paternity. But he's on the DL. It doesn't matter. Right. 2-1 as Givens falls behind Marte. Rodriguez at third now with 2 men down. All 3. Looking that ball hit towards the middle. Hardy is there, but he won't have a play. That's an RBI single for Starling Marte. And a big insurance run for the Pirates. They now lead at 5-3.
Great pitch right there by Michael Givens. You see the lumber just flying all over the place, but the ball ends up in the toughest spot. Seeing eye single right there. Hardy running it down. But no chance with the speed of Marte. The exploding bat trick. No chance. J.J. Hardy to gun down Marte. Picks up an RBI. A big run there. Take a look. Pitch riding in hard. Catches it right off the label. And boy, 5 or 6 pieces explode.
When you saw the reaction of Givens, he's thinking, I make that pitch and that's the result. And here is McCutchen. This is the Pirates' final home game of the year, so it could be his last game here at PNC as a Pirate. He's a free agent at the end of the season. I guess that was a pitch out. It was almost a strike.
Right? Yeah, too close there. Cisco stepping out into the left-handed hitter's box on the pitch out. And actually had to reach back across, almost catching that outside corner.
Time requested at the plate. Very late granting of the time, and so Givens fired through anyway. And he almost got a piece of Chris Segal. Just amazing how late umpires will grant time.
There's Michael, the extra long hold. And then just seemed like the timing of it all perfect. This timeout was called. Givens had just started his delivery.
You hope it doesn't happen, but one of these days a pitcher's going to get hurt because he's going to see the umpire jump up after he's already started his delivery and maybe stop the throw and hurt his arm.
You know, yeah, I agree. And I've heard that now for about 35 years. And I have not seen it happen yet. So it must have happened before then.
Well, you know, Mike, once somebody told me a story.
Well, I know, but it's been in the game forever, right? Everybody gets upset at that. Hey, you're going to hurt a pitcher. I've never seen a pitcher come out of a ball game with that type of play. I've seen pitchers get upset at hitters for calling the timeout maybe a little bit too late, or just to try to distract the pitcher, you know, get into his head. And that's when the pitchers start chucking it at the hitter instead when the timeout gets called.
Well, the pitchers think you hitters get all the breaks. 3-1 on McCutchen with Marte at first. Big insurance run there for the Pirates. And a strike at the knees, 3-2. McCutchen thought he had a ball.
Good pitch from Michael Givens. Well, that's a quality strike right there. Good fastball velocity, 95. Cisco setting up there. And boom, spot is hit. And gets rewarded. Didn't show up on the box, but you keep hitting the catcher's glove. Those calls are going to go your way.
Marte runs on the 3-2, and McCutchen goes down on strikes. So a run for the Pirates, one left. We head to the 8th. O's come to bat, now down by 2. Back to the Pirate 4th. with Elias Diaz batting against Mike Wright. Off the glove of the pitcher, but watch Scope up the middle. He spins and fires, and he gets the diving Elias Diaz for the out. Outstanding play by Jonathan Scope, and he gets a tip of the cap from Pedro Alvarez, who helped him out in the back end with a fabulous stretch.
Well, let's take a look at George Contos coming out of the Pirates bullpen. 63rd appearance out of the pen for the Pirates. 3.52 earned run average, 67 punch-outs in the 64 innings of work, pulling opponents down to 249 overall batting average. The Orioles some work to do here offensively, trying to push a couple more across the plate. The Pirates keep having an answer. They scratched another one out last inning.
Here's Pedro leading off. Orioles now down by 2. Alvarez has a 2-hit night. There's a strike, so Contos goes right at him. Contos is probably happy to be in the game. There's no room out there for the relievers to sit. There's so many of them.
Yeah, they got them lined up down there. Standing room only. Big shift, and the Bulls been able to beat it. Frazier, he's going to pick and choose. He beat him up the middle, his first hit. He beat him glove side with a hard line drive. Second knock.
And a comebacker. Contos an easy out. He gets Alvarez and then one away. Fans, your breakout MLB season is on Nintendo Switch. RBI Baseball 2017. It's filled with fast-paced, pick-up-and-play MLB action, packed with all your favorite MLB teams, players, ballparks, and much more. Get RBI Baseball today for Nintendo Switch. Learn more at rbigame.com. Blyer getting loose. Strike taken by Trey Mancini. He has 2 hits tonight. His 47th multi-hit game. And he's extended his career high and record-setting hitting streak to 16 consecutive games. Longest hitting streak by a rookie hitter in Orioles history.
Good stuff for Trey. He's continued to work hard all season long. I mean, every day you see him out early, checking out the ballparks to make himself better defensively. He certainly turned himself into average defender in the outfield for sure.
And Contos gets him. So 2 quick outs.
On the hard slider to finish him off. Actually 3 sliders in this at bat. And the final one, not the best. Take a look. Hard out of the hand. Starts on the plate. Bottom drops out of it at the end. Good 2-strike pitch there.
Contos had been with the Giants, and the Pirates got him on a waiver claim. Mancini dejected. Francisco getting another start. One player that's really been affected by the emergence of Austin Hayes is Joey Rickard. He's having trouble getting on the field.
Yeah, that's
but the Orioles know what he can do.
right.
That's why Buck is trying to get a good look at Santander and a better look at Hayes, who many feel has a real good chance to break camp next year as an opening day starter.
It's going to be interesting, the outfielders they bring to camp, because there were some good ones in the minor leagues who put up some impressive numbers.
Another real good slider there. Cisco's down on strikes, and Diaz gets him in first. And a 3-up, 3-down inning. Bottom of the 8th coming up, Pittsburgh in front. Series of the season at Tropicana Field on Friday night. Our coverage on MASN 2 begins at 6:30 with those extra presented by Jeep, and then game coverage at 7 o'clock. We've got all the access you need right here on MASN.
Now take a look. These two teams pretty evenly matched, and unfortunately I think there's going to be a battle here the final few games of who's going to take over the cellar in the American League East, unfortunately. So the Orioles got to pick it up here to win this series against the Rays. Trying to get above them. These numbers eerily similar. Take a look, Richard Blyer now. The O's bullpen, very strong year for Blyer. 2.08 earned run average. Contact pitcher. You see the ground ball percentage. Very good with his two-seamer at the bottom of the zone. One of the higher ground ball percentages in the game today.
And there's a base hit to center field off the bat of Josh Bell, batting right-handed this time, and he picks up his third base hit.
Blyer just trying to get ahead with the elevated pitch. Bell stays on it. Solid game for him.
Then we're going to get a pinch hitter for the pitcher, Cantos. And Jose Osuna will come off the bench. It's taken low.
This is money pitch though. Two-seam fastball at the bottom of the zone. Ground ball. Watch this Oriole defense go to work.
Down to the third, Manny. Scope back to first, and a double play. So Osuna off the bench bounces into the 5-4-3 and 2 down.
That's some money right there. Manny Machado coming in for the baseball. It's the high hop, and he's as good as anybody throwing back across the diamond. Loose to Scope. And Scope gets it in the hands. As well just sealed the deal. Just clean double play right there. Blyer doing the job.
For the Pirates on the top, that's Felipe Rivero, the closer. And Miguel Castro's getting loose just in case. 2 outs now here in the 8th inning. The O's in the 9th will have Hardy, Santander, and then a pinch hitter for Blyer. Well, the Orioles swept the 2 games against the Pirates in Baltimore, and the Pirates are trying to return the favor here by sweeping 2.
Some dramatic wins for the Orioles in the 2-game set at Camden. A couple of extra inning wins.
Polanco backed off the plate. Flyers had a good year. And certainly will be in the plans for next year, pending other moves. There's a bouncer into the shift. Hardy has to charge. And he gets Polanco. So Blyer has a 3-batter inning. Here we go. We head to the 9th. Last chance for the O's. They come to bat down by 2. Is brought to you by Southwest. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Looks like the Bill Mazeroski statue. And here's the closer, Mike. Felipe Rivero, the former National.
Yeah, Rivero coming in doing a nice job. Very strong year. 172 earned run average, 19 saves and 21 opportunities. The Pirates have had some problems, at least in the early going, stabilizing the back end, especially in the closer role. See the numbers, pretty impressive. Rivero is hitting just 172. He's got a big arm. He's going to rush the fastball up there mid to low 100s. How about that? 102 miles an hour he'll top at.
Well, the Pirates have the 3rd best bullpen by ERA in the National League, but as Mike mentioned, they have had troubles this year closing out games. The staff has 21 blown saves. So how different would their 1-loss record look even with half of those?
Yeah, exactly. You know, the Orioles kind of in that similar situation. Now they, of course, didn't blow that many saves, but the Orioles have blown their share of saves this season as well. And boy, at the start of September, if you mixed in 5 more wins, the Orioles would be sitting in a different position.
When Hurdle, the skipper of the Pirates. Hardy gets a piece of it, pulls it to short. We're off, 1 down. JJ is 0 for 4. He did have an RBI with a ground out back in the 2nd inning. Anthony Santander will bat right-handed. So here's a battle from 2 natives of Venezuela. .103.
That was quick.
Santander heard that ball go low.
Right.
That's why he took.
to start that swing early, like yesterday.
And then he comes with a slider at 93. Well, the Pirates got him at the trade deadline last year from Washington. A deal for Mark Melanson. The Nationals wanted a veteran closer. The Nationals got Felipe from the Rays in a 3-for-1 deal when Nathan Carnes went to the Nats. Or when Nathan Carnes went to the Rays, excuse me. And there's a base hit to right field. And it's going to get past Polanco and go all the way to the wall. So Santander has a 3-hit night, and he just won the Battle of Venezuela.
Man, what a swing right there. On the right side, you see his left-handed hack. How about this, staying on the pitch? When he gets it on the barrel, how about how quickly the ball jumps off the bat? Stay short to it. Let the pitcher supply some power, and this ball makes it all the way to the wall. Santander walking in. Second base, his second double of the night, third on the season. Nice swing.
Well, the pitcher spot is due. Here's Wellington Castillo off the bench. He will pinch hit. Wellington last played on Saturday against Tampa Bay, and that was the day the Orioles were eliminated. And he has not made a start in the last 3 games. His bat has cooled off. He is just 3 for his last 26.
Pretty impressive year for Wellington. Strong offensively and defensively. There's some question marks in spring training about his defensive ability, but boy, is he solid back there. One of the best throw-out percentages in the game this season.
Well, it's going to be an interesting offseason for Wellington because the contract he signed with the Orioles, the option for next season is his option. And with the offensive season he had, and as you just alluded to, Mike, 48% gunning down potential base stealers, he would be very attractive on the open market. So the question is, are the Orioles ready to go to the Chance Sisco era if Wellington elects to go? Whereas Caleb Joseph is certainly capable defensively. A lot of decisions to be made in the coming weeks.
Well, it is not easy to find a good major league quality catcher. They're going to find some offense and defensive ability. Steele showed it this season. That's why his value up. The Warriors would be unfortunate if they were able to get him back.
And they could get him back, but what likely will happen is if he declines the option, then he's a free agent, which means they have to bid against other teams that are bidding on his services, and that generally will elevate the price. But he certainly has fit in well here, and there's something to be said about for Wellington coming back here because he's had such a good year and he's so well liked. A little battle here. And he got it. 100-mile-an-hour fastball in the outer part of the plate. Goes down to the final out.
Yeah, a couple breaking balls, some good breaking balls mixed in. Up this fastball. Steele, a great fastball hitter. 100 miles an hour up and away, though tough. As that hitter rides up and through the zone. A little extra life up there. Pushing away from Castillo.
Well, this will be an education for Austin Hayes. Facing a pitcher who tops 100 miles an hour. Hayes is 1 out of 3. Yeah, I mean, he's got to be thinking if Santander can do it.
Right. You do stay short to it, right? You don't want to Those guys throwing 100 miles an hour feel like your body's got to go extra hard to get to the fastball. Santander proving it. Just be direct to the baseball, short to it. Square it up, it's going to jump.
Good take. Hayes gets ahead 2-0. Rivero, 26 years old. Been a pro ball since '09. Center field will chase McCutchen back. Still going back on it. Reaches up and he makes the catch. Takes a base hit away from Hayes, and that's how the game ends. Austin Hayes making good contact on that fastball. Gives it a ride, but Andrew McCutchen runs it down. So the Pirates sweep this 2-game interleague series, returning the favor. O's swept them in 2 games in June at Camden Yards. Base hit, 1 left. Final score here at PNC Park. Pittsburgh 5, Baltimore 3.